brace yourself because I'm about to blow your mind. What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So, since I've seen the first wave of support for Centurion, which is a new archetype, I was like, this is destined for greatness because it's just the first wave and it's already looking so good. It's a really powerful deck. I think a lot of people might not know this, but it can actually turbo out King Calamity with pretty much just one card, and it's really consistent at doing that because you have so many one-card starters, and the engine is also really compact. You don't have to play a lot of garbage cards. As a matter of fact, most cards that you have to play in the deck right now are one-card starters, and you have so many generic cards that get your stuff going. So Bonfire, it used to not really be too good because the pool of pyro monsters that you could search wasn't really that high, but now we're slowly but surely getting actual good pyro monsters. So this card turned from being not really good to actually insane, and I'm going to showcase you guys in action how good this deck really is. But before this video starts, because of course I'm going to show you guys the combos as well as the deck profile, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and it's the best way to motivate me to keep making, combos and deck profiles, especially both at the same time. It really is challenging for me, but with your support, anything can be done. Anyways, let's get right into combo number 1. I'm really not overhyping anything. This deck is truly the bomb, especially for the first wave of support, because we're like one card away from this deck being like actually tier 0. Anyways, Bonfire in any discard, that's it, that's all, gets you the full thing. So you're gonna go Bonfire into this monster, which is the Centurion Tridua, or Trudia, whatever. So you're gonna be normal summoning that, and then use its effects. So on the field, you can turn it into a continuous trap in the spell and trap zone, and also do the same thing from a Centurion monster from the deck. So we're going to be getting this card right here, the Primera. This card is basically a Stratos, and by the way, every single Centurion monster out there, currently at the moment, there are 3. As continuous traps in the spell and trap zone, you can special summon them once per turn. So that's pretty much free real estate, because now we're going to be using the effect of Primera, summon herself, and then on the summon, it's a Stratos, so we're going to be able to search your deck for any Centurion spell or trap card, or monster. But usually you're going to be going for the stand-up Centurion, because this card is the field spell, and it gets you a Centurion monster directly from the deck in the spell and trap zone as a continuous trap card. So obviously that dodges, Droll and Ash, because you're not searching anything, you're not special summoning anything, you're just placing a card in the spell and trap zone. And also, by the way, you're not activating anything, so even under anti-spell, you can still use the effects of these cards in order to place, obviously, in case that wasn't clear enough. But yeah, you're going to be going for the field spell and then discard one card and use its effect to get yourself the Emmet 6 from the deck into the spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, and you're going to be special summoning it. So now we're already done using all 3 effects to special summon, and you're going to be synchro summoning for the Legatea, which obviously on the summon, you can draw one card and potentially destroy a monster upon controls with the highest attack, but that's not going to come up if you're going first. And during the end phase, you can place a non-synchro Centurion monster from the hand or grave in your spell and trap zone. And this can be used on both players' end phases, which is pretty nasty. So on the end phase, you're going to be getting back your Primera. So now you have Trudea as well as Primera in the spell and trap zone. And on your opponent's turn, you have way more options than you actually think you have. So as soon as your opponent does something on the main phase, you can finally use the effect of Primera as well as Trudea. They are continuous trap cards, meaning that they are quick effects, which is really funny because you might not think that, because it's not like actually written quick effect, but continuous trap cards in general are always, quick effects by definition. So therefore, you can use both effects, and when a Centurion monster is special summoned, I believe that's that. If a monster is special summoned, actually, it could be your opponent's monster too, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using at least one Centurion monster on your field. So you're going to be going Chainlink 1 Primera to search, Chainlink 2 the field spell to synchro summon, and then Chainlink 3, that is actually going to be a quick effect, Emmet 6 to target your Trudea, place it in the spell and trap zone as a continuous trap, and then special summon in the Emmet 6. So you have, whatever. I mean, it was already a level 8, even though it's a level 4. When it's special summoned as a continuous trap, it can increase its level by 4. That's an optional effect. But it doesn't matter. We're only doing that so we can get, like, an extra card in the spell and trap zone, instead of keeping, like, more cards in the graveyard for no reason. Because this deck is pretty much like Crystal Beast in a way. You really want as many cards as possible in the spell and trap zone, because you summon them for free every single turn. Anyway, so the chain resolves backwards, so now we're going to be synchro summoning for Crimson Dragon, and search this card right here, the Faith of Centurion with the Centurion Primera. Now, this card is one of the best recursion card, well, I mean, follow-up cards that you can play in this deck, because it's pretty much almost a double Monster Reborn. So you can place, again, a Centurion monster from the hand or graveyard in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap, and when a synchro, well, if a Centurion synchro monster special summon to your field while this card is in your grave, you can banish it and do the exact same thing again. Yeah, you get a lot of cards back, and again, they, you know, like the ABCs, they summon themselves in the spell and trap zone for free, they're all like that. So when you get to place a card in the spell and trap zone, it's pretty much like a special summon, but it dodges Ghost Bell, it dodges everything. So that's the crazy part about this deck. Conventional hand traps are just not good enough against it. Crimson Dragon is now going to be using its effect and turn into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. So that was a really simple one-card combo with one discard. And you're going to have a follow-up that's really nasty for next turn. And again, during your opponent's end phase, the Legatea will trigger to get back the Primera in the spell and trap zone. And this is where it gets really out of control. So you go Faith, get back the M6, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Special summon 2 monsters, get a search again. You're getting a search every single turn. On your turn, on your opponent's turn, you go for the Legatea again, which draws a card. Trigger the effect of the quick play in your grave, get back the Primera in the spell and trap zone, and then you attack for 10 billion damage. You have 25 cards in hand, and you kind of skip your opponent's turn, and you still have the Chudea special summon, which can also grab another card from the deck in the spell and trap zone. Oh my god, if this is what I could do in like 30 minutes, imagine what people can do, like geniuses can pull off in like 1 month of playtesting with this deck and theory. But of course, that was nothing. Let's get right into combo number 2. So this hand is the exact same, actually. The only difference is that I want to say it's a little more positioned to play around Ash. So I have the field spell, Stand Up, as well as M6, the level 8 monster. My opponent has Ash and Nibiru, and he's gonna top deck to a Luber. He's skillful like that, but don't worry, it's not gonna be enough to beat me, Bernard. So I'm gonna go field spell, discard the M6, and then get myself the Chudea and the spell and trap zone Chudea effect. Up until now, we were unashable, because again, we're not searching, we're not special summoning anything. We're only placing cards from the deck into the field, and then special summoning a card from the spell and trap zone into the monster zone. And then this is again going to be getting the Primera, which cannot be ashed. And finally, the first thing that can be ashed is the search effect of Primera, and that's not going to be enough because we can pass turn, and this is pretty much an unbreakable board, even if our opponent goes Aluber into Branded Fusion and we have no hand traps. This deck is so good, it's so resilient, so powerful, so consistent, that hand traps are just never enough, honestly, and board breakers like Dark Ruler, Evenly, Duster, Lightning Storm, they're also just not good enough. I'm going to explain later on. But anyways, the Looper is going to be searching for Branded Fusion. I'm going to go M6, special summon from the grave, and place the Primera in the spell and trap zone, which is a 2-in-1 package deal. I get a free monster reborn, and I get to trigger the effect of Primera to summon again, and then search again. Which is stupid. Like, are you kidding me? Everything is free real estate, and of course I'm going to be summoning 2 monsters on my opponent's turn. Well, actually 3 in total. Well, actually 4. And I get a search with the Primera. I'm almost Nibiruable on my opponent's turn. This is summon number 4. I actually summoned more on my opponent's turn than on my own turn. This is just giving you an idea of how much... This is pretty much like the next Communist deck, where you're always playing on your opponent's turn more than your opponent is playing himself. Anyways, you get your search for the Faith, which again, we already established is the double monster reborn. Great follow-up card. And Zoroa is insane here. You need a Spellcaster Tuner and any non-tuner generic monster to make it, so it's not like the kind of level 8 monster that everybody has access to, but upon the Synchro Summon, you can equip 1 Majestus monster from your extra deck to discard, and your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same card type, so Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, as a Majestus monster card in your spell and trap zone. I think you can already see where this is going, but Despia is a Fusion-only deck, and if it cannot be activating the effect of Fusion monsters, there is pretty much nothing it can do. So the only out to this, because it has 3900 attack, is to summon a Titanic Lad using Nibiru and Fallen of Abaz, so it gains 1500 attack, and then you have a 4k monster, and then jump over it, but then you Branded Fusion into a monster that does nothing. You're probably going to pass turn there and do nothing after that. It's not going to be enough because I have a follow-up already. I have a double monster reborn, and the Ash was also not enough to stop me. So even if you have Nibiru, Ash, Branded Fusion, it's not gonna be enough to stop literally my 1-card combo. Like, how is this fair? It's not, but yo, I'll take it. And this card is also extremely good. You can, I mean, not only that, but also, I believe it has another effect. Well, not really, because you have to, like, actually summon it. But yeah, dude, you could, I think, do it if you... No, I don't think, because it's not properly summoned. But there is a trap card where you can banish a monster card, then get it back on the next player's end phase. But I think you have to special summon it. It doesn't, like, return back to the field. Because otherwise it would be, like, the biggest, like, loophole ever. Because this is pretty much like a... kind of like a change of heart quick effect. Actually, really insane card. But yeah, this is what Zoroark can actually do if it's summoned, especially on your opponent's turn when you have the knowledge of your opponent's deck. And in a tournament, you can actually look at what people are playing in the top tables, and you always have like an idea of what to turbo out with Zoroark. And of course, if you're summoning this on the opponent's turn, it doesn't matter because you always know what your opponent is on. So if fusion-based strategies are really popular, or if Purely is really popular, you can go Zoroark into the Xyz monster, and your opponent just cannot play the game at all. Anyways, now combo number 3 is me playing out a random hand against Kashtira with a relatively good hand. I mean, there could have been like an extra Dark Ruler and evenly in the hand, and it wouldn't be enough because, again, nothing beats this deck. I mean, like you said, hand traps are not enough, but board breakers are also not good enough. It's I only need one card to play. This is the crazy part. But anyways, Fenrir, special summon, and then normal summon the Trudea. That's a 1-card starter. I don't need anything else. Get the Primera, and then special summon, get my search, and now I can go for the Fenrir, so I was playing around Joel and Logbird that way. And I'm going to get my search now, and then activate the Centurion field spell, discard the Fenrir, get the M at 6, and then special summon, go for the Synchro, then draw 1 card. This is free real estate, set 2 back row, and then end phase get back the Primera. My opponent draws to Prosperity. Again, it doesn't matter. There could be all the board breakers in the world. Doesn't change anything. Duster, activate, and then I'm gonna be going, okay, sure, that's fine. Chainlink 2 Primera, Chainlink 3 Trudea, special summon 2 monsters. And here you might be thinking, well, this Duster is still gonna be good because it's gonna destroy my 2 back row and the field spell. Well, the 2 back rows I really could not care less because, I mean, do I really need Imperm and there can only be 1 when I'm hitting my opponent with King Calamity? And the field spell is not gonna die because it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while I have a Centurion monster card, either on the monster zone or in the spell and trap zone. That's kind of unfair. So yeah, Duster just doesn't do anything. Lightning Storm doesn't do anything. I think the correct play was to actually summon Lagatea in defense position, just for safety measures, but actually it doesn't matter because when you have Primera in the spell and trap zone, your level 5 or higher Centurion monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. So yeah, even if you summon it in attack, it just doesn't change anything. But yeah, now we're going to be triggering the field spell, so Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3, M at 6. And we're going to be quick syncing into Crimson Dragon and search again for the Fade. This is the 3rd time that I'm doing that. And now Crimson Dragon into Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, King Calamity. Use the effect. My opponent is going to set a few bluffs, but it doesn't matter because we have so much removal, right? So yeah, end phase, get back the Primera, top deck, whatever, it doesn't matter. Fenrir search, we have 5 cards in our hand. And it's going to, you know, go up, like, drastically. Because this deck never runs out of gas. And you're always playing with the same cards, by the way. Like, deadass. We've only used Primera, Trudea, and M at 6. Nothing else. Literally not a single other Centurion monster is in our graveyard. We're just playing with the same cards because the Synchro monster is always getting back the cards from the grave. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, now we're going to be searching and quick syncing, but it doesn't matter. Go for Zoroark, but this time we're not going to be going for the fusion. We're going to be going for Ninaruru, which is an Archfiend eccentric, so we can destroy a spell or trap or our opponent controls. And we're going to be doing that right now. Now we have a level 8 monster, we might as well just special summon the M at 6 and do what now? Summon a rank 8 monster, right? Then Girsu is going to be sending a card our opponent controls. And now we just have game. We can also normal summon the Ghost Mourner or the Ash. Synchro summon into Baron de Fleur using the Fenrir, destroy another card, have a negate. The world is your oyster. But again, we have so many cards in our hand that was through a Duster. It's like, what? Our opponent could have a hand trap and I still wouldn't care that much because all I need is like 1 extender to play around a good hand trap because a bad hand trap is just not going to be doing anything at all. Anyways, let's get right into the deck profile now. Alrighty, so now for the deck profile. Before we proceed, please make sure you smash the like and subscribe button because this deck is nasty and I really want to keep making videos like these, and I really want to make more Centurion videos as well because I think moving forward, if King Calamity is still a thing, this deck might truly be tier 0, and if we get more support, this deck is definitely tier 0, like not even a question. And I'm going to explain something right now. Like, you have so many 1-card starters. You have the Primera, which is a 1-card starter. Again, considering you have a discard. Trudea, 1-card starter. Bonfire, because it searches a Pyro. Trudea is a Pyro. You got the field spell, you got terraforming, so that's what, like 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 one-card starters in a 40-card deck. So that's like a 90% chance of having a one-card play. It really is this good. And then you have like so many utility cards. You have hand traps, you have board breakers, you have floodgates. Anything you can ask for, this deck is just the perfect mid-range deck. Anyone who wants a safe deck for a tournament and, you know, wants to be able to play hand traps and any kind of cards to facilitate going second in general, this deck is the perfect deck for you. Anyway, so I'm on 2 M6. I think this is the worst card for the Centurion because it's not a one-card starter, it doesn't do anything on its own, but it's still a necessity because it's a free Monster Reborn from the grave. And, I mean, not, like Monster Reborn in a way, you're also placing back a Centurion monster from the Monster Zone and the Spell and Trap Zone. And at the end of the day, it's an extender. So you can't pass out on this card. You still have to play at least 1 or 2 copies, but not 3. I think 3 is overkill. 3 Fenrir, but it's probably going to get limited, so this card is probably, it's just a matter of time before it gets replaced by another card. Might be Book of Moon, might be something else, it depends on the format, so there's really no reason for us to be too picky on the utility cards at the moment. The important part is the engine. Anyways, 3 Primera, obviously no shit, 3 Trudea, 3 Ash, 2 Mourner, 2 Ogre, 3 Veiler. Ogre is like the actual go-to-hand trap against this deck, because if you hit the Centurion field spell with Ogre, doesn't do anything, but if you hit the monsters, might actually be not too bad. But yeah, I love the fact that this card has built-in protection for the one hand trap it's supposed to lose against. How convenient. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, these cards can also be used as material with Fenrir to make a level 10 Synchro, which I do not play, but I am considering Baron. And Veiler obviously can be used and make a level 8 Synchro. You have access to Zoroa or Omega, and that's it. But it's good enough. Anyways, 21 monsters, and for the spells, 1 Terraforming, obviously, 3 Prosperity, 3 Bonfire, 1 Fade, that's the extender. You could maybe play 2, honestly, if you really want to. You can go ahead, but the Graveyard Effect, you're always going to be looping it, because you have Omega, so you can get back the cards from the banished into the grave. But realistically, you don't even have to grind this hard. You can win on, like, turn 3 every single time. Your end board is good enough to the point where you stop your opponent, and then next turn, you guaranteed kill. Anyways, 3 Stand Up, 3 Imperm, 1 Centurion Phalanx. This card's not too bad, but yeah, okay, so I just reread it. You do have to special summon it to its owner's field during the standby phase of the next turn, so it's not like a true Farfa, but almost. But yeah, this card's, it's really good, and even the Graveyard Effect, it's a Monster Reborn for your Centurion Synchro, and it actually says Centurion Synchro monster in your grave. So this is hinting that Legatea is not going to be the only one. We might be getting a level 8 Centurion Synchro. It actually makes a lot of sense because you got a level 4 tuner and a level 4 non-tuner that can also be level 8 if you really want to. So you should be able to make a level 8 and a level 12 Synchro monster in this deck. At least for the Centurion part of the deck, because you can also have like generic level 8 and 12 monsters. Super easy. And yeah, 3 there can only be 1 because all of the monsters in the deck literally have different types. This is Pyro, this is Spellcaster, this is Psychic, this is Machine. Unfortunately, the big Synchro is a Machine, so it might actually conflict a little bit with the M6, but like I already said, it's the least important monster, so it shouldn't be the end of the world. And finally, I'm playing 1 Truth Centurion, which is probably one of the worst cards in this deck as well. It's a Salamangreat Roar-esque card, or Infinity Barrier, Solemn Judgment. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, send 1 face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone to the grave, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So it's searchable and it negates anything, but you don't really need this card that much. You might as well cut this and maybe, I don't know, play something else. It depends on your deck building and playtesting, of course. But yeah, 40 card deck list, don't try to play over 40, it makes no sense. For the extra deck, I'm playing a bunch of cards for Zoroa. So the Fusion, the Xyz, the Link, and the other Synchro, and then Zoroa. But these monsters also have really relevant effects when they're equipped, so really have to read them. Artemis is obviously useless if you're not playing Magistus monsters. This boosts the attack of Zoroa by 1000. And then this is an Archfiend Eccentric, and this is whenever your monster battles at the start of the damage step, you destroy your opponent's monster. So it's actually pretty good. And for the other monsters, obviously King Calamity with Crimson Dragon, 2 of the Legatea, the real monster that you're always summoning, and then 1 Despian Lulu Lilith. This card's really interesting in this deck because you can actually play Nadir Servant with Ecclesia and Fleur de Lis, because the Graveyard Effect allows you to summon a light spellcaster from the hand or deck, whose attack is equal to its own defense on the end phase. So Primera, the Stratos, just fits the bill. It's a level 4 light spellcaster with 1600 attack and 1600 defense, which is actually really cool. And yeah, Omega with Zeus, Dingirsu, Evil Swarm Excite on Knight. You can out Goes and Match if you're using 2 Primera, and you can out Goes and Match with Azalea if you're using 2 Chudea. So that's actually really important. You cannot out Rivalry, unfortunately. I mean, you can, but you're gonna have to play like shitty cards like Dawnbreaker, the Magical Warrior garbage, and it's also unrealistic. You're not gonna be able to do it like immediately, so yeah, garbage. Yeah, don't even consider that. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the extra deck. For the idea section, I have quite a lot of ideas, so if you want to play a third M at 6, go for it. Garua and Entis with the Nadir Servant, like I said. You have more options because you're especially going to be sending Lulu Lilith, but sometimes you might be tempted to send these cards. And now for the Synchros, Baron de Fleur, Trishula, Scarlight, Draco Berserker, Chaos Archfiend. A lot of cards that you can Synchro summon on your opponent's turn. Trishula being the hardest one because you need like Veiler and I don't know, like 2 Chrodea, which is unrealistic. So yeah, it's cool on paper, but not really good in practice. Chaos Archfiend is easy to summon. You just need Chudea and Primera, so these 2 monsters, because this is the light tuner and this is the dark non-tuner. But the effect is not even that good, honestly, so yeah, not even worth it. And Chaos Angel is unsummonable because you only really have access to level 8 and 12 Synchros in this deck, not really level 10s, so that's the reason why Baron isn't even in the main deck. And you could, but like, I don't know, using Fenrir, and I'm gonna assume that Fenrir is gonna get limited really soon. For the Xyz monsters, if you want to play a second Zeus, you could, because ironically, this deck can hard make Zeus the real way, like using 2 level 12 monsters, like actually. So yeah, you can use the effect of Zeus once and then summon another Zeus right on top, which is 100% useless. You don't have to do that, but you could. Yeah, just really stupid. Anyways, number 7, the 7 Sins, 77, Jesus. A lot of 7s here. Yeah, it's also another card that you can hard make and then use the effect right away, which is so funny because usually you're always summoning this card on top of like a rank 10 or 11 Dark Xyz. But yeah, if you actually have 2 level 12s, you can say screw the rule, I have money, and just summon this card, and then banish every single special summon monster upon controls. Absolutely beautiful. Anyways, Stellar Nemesis Typhon, Doomsday Star. Again, another card that you can hard make, but you're not going to be doing that because you can actually summon this card with 1 monster. And going second, it's really relevant, so yeah, I like this card. Anyways, number 1, Infection Busking. You need 2+ level 8 monsters to summon this. So M at 6 and either Chudea or, like a level 8 Synchro monster that you no longer need, like Zoroa, after using Nini Naruru. I showcased this on combo number 3. So yeah, this is how you can make rank 8 monsters. But Dingirsu, I want to say, is usually just a little better. And finally, Baguska, because you got a few level 4 monsters. Nadir Servant and Synchro Rumble, which is a card that you can search with Crimson Dragon. And it's a monster reborn for any tuner, and doesn't negate the effect, but it does lock you under Synchro only for the rest of the turn. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys really soon. Peace.